Salutations, everybody. Alright, we're a day out from Demon Slayer, and I wanted to make a tier list that really highlighted some of the toxic characters, the good characters, and, well, the decent characters. Truth be told, there's no bad characters in this game. All that being said, let's rock, baby! Alright, so first things first, I would say that Tanjiro is certainly like the A tier. He's certainly the middle character. Like, I haven't heard much about him, and from the few gameplays I've seen with Water Tanjiro, they didn't look bad, but at the same time, it's like, why pick Water Tanjiro when there is a better option? But we'll get to that. Zenitsu. Alright, so Zenitsu, maybe I'm a little biased because I dislike Zenitsu as a whole, but from what I hear, Zenitsu does have some lackluster buttons. Now, what does that mean? That means Zenitsu's attacks suck dick. Unless you're using Thunderclap and Flash, odds are you need to rely very heavily on your resources. Otherwise, you will be oftentimes getting absolutely manhandled by your opponent. I'm just gonna come out and say it, Uradaki's toxic as shit, okay? Uradaki is like probably the best character in the game realistically, and hear me out on this. I know you're thinking, what the f***, Uradaki of all characters? Yes. So first things first, Uradaki has a trap that lasts as long as no one steps on it. That trap is not disappearing at all. So not only is it toxic, but it's good. Also, Uradaki happens to have one of the best water wheels in the game. And from what I hear, overall, Uradaki is actually a really solid character, whether he's on point or your assist character. It pains me to say this, but Giyu is actually mid, apparently. So you see, the thing about Giyu is, while he is, well, still very drippy in the game, very unique even, the fact that his counter is something that can easily be baited out, and the fact that characters commonly fall out of his techniques makes it so that his combos can be lackluster in damage just from characters falling out, but that's not to say that they're absolutely horrible. Obviously, with a little bit of love and care, Giyu can probably be a very solid character. I'm not gonna lie, Sabito seems strong. Like, Sabito looks strong, Sabito has an appeal to him, and not only does Sabito have the appeal, he has a good assist, he has good techniques, and most importantly, I'm gonna take what's most important about that to the grave. From what I hear, I think Makomo actually is very solid as well, just like another all-around character who's able to perform well as a character. Obviously, her and Tanjiro are probably interchangeable. I feel like Makomo might actually be the top of the A tier, the mid, if you will, and with Giyu and Zenitsu being slightly below that. But Makomo herself, she is a very fast character. The offside of her being a fast character is the fact that she has a lot lower damage output, but you know, there are ways to get around that by simply building your team to account for that detail. Alright, Shinobu. So Shinobu is a character who I feel like has the potential to be very strong. However, much like Makomo, her damage output is rather low compared to some of the other characters, but that can be offset by her poison and a few of her other traits. While her damage is low, she does have a lot of faster attacks, and they do seem to have a better range, so that if you choose to play the footsies game, the I'ma poke you from far away game, Shinobu might just be the girl to go to. Truth be told, I actually have heard absolutely nothing about Nezuko. Like, from the few people I've talked to, there has been nothing about Nezuko. Everyone's kind of been focusing on Sabito, Makomo, Tanjiro, Giyu, Zenitsu, and a few others. But Nezuko seems like, from her gameplay trailers, that she could be a really solid character. She has good tracking on a lot of her moves, so let's say someone uses their substitution, you're able to track on to that. Also, she has an assist that can be very good for locking down your opponents and using it to set up certain setups with the stronger characters. Speaking of stronger characters, I feel like Enosuke is also up there. Now, Enosuke is a character I haven't seen too much gameplay of from the content creators. However, Enosuke does happen to have a relatively high damage output, while also managing to be able to set up combos effectively by the fact that his techniques tend to lead into blue circle combos opposed to the common yellow circle or even red circle combos that other characters have. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that Murata's probably gonna be the top of the mid characters, just because, again, this is a character that I'm not seeing very much of. I'm sure that there's probably a few EU creators that have used Murata, but obviously I don't know them well enough to be like, hey yo, can you tell me about your experiences with Murata? I would really like to hear your experiences on Murata, because I'm a small content creator who couldn't get Demon Slayer. I'm not going to reach out to somebody and do that, but I will say that Murata's toolkit itself seems like it could be a very strong toolkit, one that if utilized properly could make him a strong character, but it's obviously some level of maintenance compared to the characters above him. Alright, I'm not even gonna lie, Hinokami Tanjiro is without a doubt one of the top 3 characters in this game. First things first, Hinokami Tanjiro has all these different setups and movements that are very unique to him alone. I do believe he's actually the only character in the game with a guard break special, which essentially means if he really wanted to, there are setups in which he can reset you, and while you're forced to block, say he calls in his assist when he resets you and you're forced to block that, he can certainly go ahead and jump up and use his guard break special attack, and you can do nothing about it. I'm noticing a trend that characters who use fire are actually really good in this game. You see, Rengoku is another example of a character who is just possibly too good for his own damn good. You see, the thing is, Rengoku has a very high damage output A. Now, you can say that's offset by the fact that he's one of the slower characters of the game. However, he makes up for the slowness of his character's attacks by the fact that his character attacks are pretty much unstoppable. Like, let's say you push block a Rengoku attack. I've seen that Rengoku is actually able to continue hitting you even if you push block if you let your guard down. So Rengoku is one of those characters who can kind of pressure you infinitely and just keep on going. So Rengoku is a very strong offensive character, and obviously, since this is Demon Slayer, every single character has defensive moves. Every single character has a technique that is meant to get characters off them. But hey, do you agree with my tier list? Who am I kidding? You don't have really a choice to agree with this tier list, but what have you heard about the game? Is there any characters you might move around within this list? Let me know down below, because fun fact about comments, I do tend to read and reply to all of them, unless it's some wild off the wall stuff like because I don't know to say all that. And hey, if you're new here, why not consider subscribing? I mean, you made it all the way to the end of the video. I must be doing something right. All that being said,